Episode number 5. How to have a quickie with your spouse.
There is nothing wrong with affection between a man and a wife as often as possible.
Hey family, welcome to another episode of Soulful Conversations with Frank
And Sheila Battle. Hey family.
How's everybody doing?
Hope you all are well. Let's check in at the battle station. How are things at the battle station, Mr. Frank?
Things at the battle station are going well. Even though last night our power went out.
Yes. So the power went out. We were supposed to tape. And we were playing with the idea of doing audio and video at the same time. So if y'all have some feedback around that, like if y'all want to see us in the studio putting down the episode, let us know. But of course, we're going to keep the podcast going. But we have some subscribers to other media platforms who like to see how it goes down at the battle station. So yeah. Stay tuned for more information about that. We'll cross those bridges when we get to it. But we were going to do it last night and the power went out.
Yeah, and it was a heat index of 105.
What does that have to do with the power going out?
It got hot.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. The power went out, but our house is very cool in more ways than one. And the heat definitely rises. We live in an older home and the heat definitely rises. And so upstairs where our bedrooms are, it was warm. But when you came down a level and then went down another level, it was much cooler. But we're not complaining. God is good.
I won't complain.
Hallelujah. God is good. God is good. Power came back on like 2:00 in the morning and Frank and Zion was doing what Frank and Zion do. So thank God the power is back on and we're able to get back in the studio and do this episode for you guys.
So we got power.
We got power.
Wonder work it power.
Please. Oh, he's such a deacon. Anyway. He's such a deacon. Oh. Such a deacon. Okay. Anyway. Once a deacon, always a deacon. Anyway, so we started a series. See, I can be funny too. Like in the other episode we talked about Sheila's always serious. I was a little funny. Was that funny? I was a little funny.
It was a little funny.
Piquito. Little.
Piquito.
Yeah, little. The kids trying to teach me Spanish. Little. Piquito.
Okay, Rosetta.
We talked about Rosetta Stone too. So if you missed that episode, go back and listen to the first episode, Love and Marriage, Communication. And so on this episode, we're going to make it a little more fun. Communication, it can be a heavy topic. We hope we kept it light. And we're going to readdress that again because communication is something that you can never talk too much about, right? Like there's always an opportunity to develop your communication skills and figure out how to be a better communicator. And we said in the other episode, it doesn't matter, who you're communicating with, that the idea is that you develop that skill, right?
Right.
So we didn't come up with this title tonight for this episode just to be provocative.
Right.
But this episode is called dun, dun, dun. Maybe we should play a little Prince or something like, ooh. Like some. Okay, I don't know if you can use other people's music and
sound effects.
Yes, so I don't know if you can use other people's music in your podcast, but this episode is called "How to Have a Quickie with Your Spouse." Mr. Frank is not saying nothing.
I'm not saying nothing.
Why are you not saying nothing, Mr. Frank?
I don't want to be spoiler alert.
Okay, spoiler alert. Okay, so
alert.
Just to give you a little bit of background on this, we are not trying to be provocative. That is literally the title of a session that we did at a couples retreat last year. And it was a big hit. We got a lot of strong feedback from the husbands and the wives. And so we thought we would just take this opportunity to share what we exposed them to with all of you.
And so, kids, if you're in the car and mom and dad or mom is driving, it just means doing something fast.
That he is crazy. So let's do this disclaimer instead of that one. He is so crazy. We're not going to discuss anything sexual
No.
that your children over 13 cannot hear.
No.
Okay. So this is PG-13. This is the PG-13 version. There is another version of how to have a quickie with your spouse, but we're not going to do that today.
Another one.
There's an R-rated, but anyway, we're not going to do that. So anyway, the how to have a quickie with your spouse is using the word quickie as an acronym. And so in the couples retreat that we did last year, we split the word quickie as an acronym, and we went down those letters for the husbands, and then we used those same letters with different words for the wives. And so right now what we're going to do is kind of smash it together for the sake of time, because we want to honor your time. And we're going to Why are you laughing? Because I said smash it together.
You can't say smash.
Oh, you can't? Jesus, please pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. I'm trying to keep this clean. Like, I'm trying to keep this PG-13. I wish y'all could see his face. And this is exactly why we were talking about the video, because y'all should see his face. But anyway, so we're going to do this together. We're not going to identify one spouse or the other for the word in the acronym Quickie, but we'll elaborate as we go along. And if I've completely confused you, don't worry, just hang in there. It's going to all make sense in a minute.
Yes,
okay?
It will.
So this episode is called How to Have a Quickie with your spouse, right? And so the first letter in the word Quickie is Q. Dun, dun, dun.
Cue the music.
Okay. So Q. And how to have a quickie with your spouse. Ask questions. And the way that we broke that down was for the husbands, ask, what does she need, want, or desire from you? Mm-hmm. Husbands, ask your wives, what do you need from me? What do you want from me? What do you desire from me? And not all three at the same time.
And do your best, wives, to stay in, let's just put it this way. Don't get delusional with this.
Oh, this is not Young and the Restless.
Yes. This is
all my children.
No.
Well, that's old school. So what are the new dramas now? Housewives of Atlanta, How to Get Away with Murder. Not How to Get Away with Murder.
How to Get Away.
I promise you I don't watch TV, so I don't know. But
now return you back to Quickie.
Yes, let's go back to the Quickie, because I don't know enough about TV stations and TV shows to quote them. But the point is to ask the question. So for the husbands, we said, ask, what do you need? What do you want? And what do you desire from me? The question that the wives can ask is, are you okay? Are you okay? Not what's wrong with you, but what happened to you, and are you okay? And so there's a series of questions that husbands can ask that lead to effective communication with their wives. And then there's a series of questions the wives can ask that lead to effective communication with the husband. So the Q in how to have a quickie with your spouse is questions. Don't be afraid to ask the question.
And brothers, I want to say this is a moment of vulnerability and honesty.
Cue the violins.
So if it's a chance, she's asking, she wants to know.
She wants to know. And ladies, again, that's not, what's wrong with you? Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Say, honey, what happened today? Are you okay? That's a whole lot different from, well, what's wrong with you? Okay. So let's not do that, ladies, okay? Let's not do that. All right. So next letter is, I feel like we should have Count Dracula, but Count Dracula's numbers, not letters. Okay, we can't do that. The next
Count
letter,
Dracula.
Yeah, like two.
You mean the guy that wrote the song? I'm sorry, I'm back. Go ahead with the next one.
Jesus, help me. Okay, so the next letter is U. The next letter in Quickie is U, and the word is understand. Husbands and wives, Let your spouse know that you heard what they said and listened. Don't just repeat their words.
What I need from you.
That SWV. You telling our age,
That
babe.
is not
Stop.
SWV. That's Escape. We're going to take your sister call.
Please don't. Please don't. It's Escape. I stand corrected. I understand that I was wrong. I understand that I was wrong. I take. I'm teachable. I can take correction. Even live and on the air, I can take correction. Okay, so understand. Let your spouse know that you heard what they said and listened. Don't just repeat their words, because anybody can hit rewind play. It takes another level to be able to prove that you comprehended what was said. Wow. That's understanding.
Yes.
Okay? So if you only hear, you can repeat it. But if you listen, you can understand. You don't have to always agree, but you can always let your spouse know, I understand. I understand, okay? So, Quickie, Q was question, U is understand. Next letter is I. I stands for be intentional and impeccable with your word. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Keep your word to your spouse on purpose. What do you think about that, Mr. Frank? Be intentional and impeccable with your word.
I like that.
Say what you mean and mean what you say. Keep your word to your spouse on purpose. That's that intentionality. Yeah. Like if my husband says, we're going to have date night once a week. Be intentional and be impeccable. Keep your word to your spouse. If you say you're going to do something, be intentional and do it. Keep your word. Because if you can't keep your word to your spouse, it's really hard for your spouse to watch you keep your word to somebody else. Yeah. And that can cause a lot of problems. Okay? Yeah. So, Quickie. Next letter is C. And ladies, I want you to know that this word is not just something that the fellas should study and look up and research and ask for greater insight about, but we as women also should take some time to study this a little deeper too. And the word is cherish. To have and to hold, to love and to cherish. We know how to have. We know how to hold. We think we know how to love. But cherish, to be cherished, is to hold your spouse in your heart and your hands as valuable in public and in private. That's cherish, y'all. So that's not just, something that we as women want to receive. It's also something we got to give. We got to cherish our husbands too. We got to count them as valuable.
And that's where you have that heart connection.
Matters of the heart.
Matters of the heart.
Another good C word, and we're still keeping it PG-13, is caress. And I think that has a lot to do with holding each other safely, making it a point to touch each other every day. Like there should be some kind of physical contact. And I'm not saying the extent to which you need to go with that physical touch, but we know from studying babies who are not held do not thrive as well as babies who are held. And so there's something about caress. There's something about the human touch that brings healing in a relationship and healing to a person. And so we're not going to give you the context to how much, how long, or how strong the caress should be. But we're hoping and praying that what you get out of that is to have some sort of gentle physical touch with your spouse on a daily basis?
Just a touch of love, a little bit.
I can't take him, y'all. I can't take him. Okay. So we did Q is question, U, understand, I, be intentional and impeccable, C is cherish. Here we go with the K. Now, just like on C for cherish, I say it to the ladies, this is just as much about you and your research and study and edification for how you engage in that word with your spouse. Fellas, this one is just as much for you as it is for the ladies. So K stands for be kissable. So what we say to the fellas is be kissable everywhere that you want to be kissed. Y'all got that?
I'm just going to sit right here and look at you.
Be kissable everywhere that you want to be kissed. Be kissable. And that's not just for the ladies, fellas. That's for you too. So, Exhibit A. It's all right for the fellas to get their feet done. It's all right for the fellas to practice, safe hygiene and keep their beards trimmed and keep their nails trimmed and get their feet done and get a massage. It's all good. It's all good because you want to be just as kissable as you want your wife to be. Everywhere that you want to be kissed. So wherever that is on you, fellas, if you want to be kissed there, then make sure that space on you is kissable. Is that all right?
That's all right.
And the other thing that comes along with the K for kiss is the 5 times 15 rule.
5 times 15.
5 days a week that you should kiss your spouse for 15 seconds. So, and Frank and I have to, we have to remind each other, we have to work on this too, because we're peckers. Like we're quick to, hey babe, bye babe. We kiss each other low, we kiss each other goodbye. But there's a difference in someone taking the time, slowing down to hold you in their arms and kiss you for 15 seconds.
Yeah, we did this exercise at a
couples retreat. And some people went a little longer.
In the church.
In the church.
You know what I'm saying?
Church. I was like, stop it. Like we had to ring a bell. Like break.
We really had to clap a hand and say, stop it.
Okay.
But it was all good though.
Yes, it was all good because you do what you do with your spouse. It was
really beautiful.
And what made it so beautiful is one of the couples came up to us and said, we used to kiss like that when we met.
Yeah.
But now that we've been married 30 years, we don't kiss. And there's a book out called We Still Kiss, and I'm going to get the author and we're going to put it in the comments. But there's a book called We Still Kiss. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you've been married 2 days, 22 years, or 62 years. There is nothing wrong with affection between a man and a wife as often as possible. So whatever that place of pleasure and affection looks like for you, whatever that practice is for you, the idea is just to engage in that. And kissing is very sensual. It's very romantic. And it's an awesome way to reconnect quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. So K is for kiss. Next one is I. Right? Quickie.
Yeah.
Q.U.I.C.K.I.
Q.U.I.C.K.I.E. Quickie. Q.U.I.
He's so crazy. So this I stands for invest in your marriage. Invest in your marriage. So whether that looks like a weekly date night, whether that looks like twice a year you're going to go to some sort of marital enrichment conference or weekend or retreat or something. This is not just the getaway. And we're going to talk about the getaway because we have mastered how to do that economically. But you should do something every year that sows a seed of enrichment in your marriage. So even if you belong to a household of faith that does not have a thriving marriage ministry or something like that, honey, Google it. There are so many awesome conferences, retreats out here that you and your spouse can go to just get that tune up. And that's really what it's about. Leave the kids, call your mom and them, call auntie and them, drop the kids off somewhere, make it a weekend, and go do something that is intentionally for the purpose of enriching your marriage.
And in that enrichment and investment, and just again, because we are transparent. We had an opportunity earlier this month. This is June, to go away and to do that.
Yeah.
And to ask questions. It's a check-in. How are we doing? And those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And those conversations can be hard, but they're good because you come away, knowing what's going on, what's happening, and it strengthens you. So don't be afraid of the hard questions in those moments, but you get to have fun as well.
Exactly. And when you plan those weekends to invest in your marriage, Frank and I have a rule. When we go away like that, we can't talk about kids, church, or careers. The entire time that we are away is specifically about us and our marriage. And so you can ask those questions like, what can I do for you? How can I bless you? How can I serve you better? How can I support you in a way? What's an area where I can improve in? And when you're away, you would be surprised how much better those conversations go when you don't have the stressors of everyday life right there in your face.
Right.
Like being away is the best blessing, the best way to have those conversations.
And what you'll find out after you have that and you kind of, for lack of a better phrasing, clear the air, you will find yourself sitting quiet and just enjoying one another. Even, you're not saying anything, but you're just enjoying one another, whether you're sitting at the beach or in a park or wherever. And those are just cherishable moments because you've connected. Mm-hmm. And it's really a blessing in doing that. And
one of the things that we want to say about that as it relates to the economy of it is, we've been, that 6-figure family and then we've not been. And so what we learned is it doesn't have to be a 5-star hotel for you to have a good time. It doesn't have to be a 5-star experience with all the bells and whistles. Do what you can with what you have. And instead of trying to aspire to create a narrative for social media that competes or is comparable with what somebody else is doing, make a memory with your spouse that's not going to cause either of you heartache later on. And that's something that, we talk to a lot of couples about, couples who are newly married and couples who have been married for a while. Don't add the stressor of trying to create something that you really can't afford, that's really not in your budget. We used to go to Williamsburg. I'm just going to shout out Williamsburg, Virginia. Now, Williamsburg, Virginia has 5-star hotels and they have 2-star hotels. We tell people, find something in the middle. Find something in the middle. Don't run up your credit cards. Don't do all of that. You don't have to go to the outlet just because you went to Williamsburg. You can go to Newport News. You can go to Norfolk. You can go to the beautiful thing. And we hail from Virginia. Virginia is an incredible place to live because in 2 hours you can be in the mountains or 2 hours you can be in the beach.
Right.
And it's a beautiful state. So trust me, you can find somewhere to go that's not going to break the bank.
Just like, for example, we had one moment of riding down the Blue Ridge Parkway Highway.
Oh my God, it was so scary though.
It was scary, but when we got in that area where the trees were, it was beautiful.
It was a beautiful ride. Virginia is a beautiful ride. You can hit
quiet ride.
95, 64, 410, Route 1. Yeah, trust me, you can actually find and make a memory in an exclusive spot that's just for you. So it doesn't always have to be the beach. It doesn't always have to be wine country. It doesn't always have to be the mountains. You could head west and find a nice hotel that's clean. Don't bring back no bed bugs. Find something that's clean. Find something that's nice. Find a good restaurant with some good food somewhere near there and make a memory with your spouse, okay? So invest in your marriage is our point to all of that.
Yes.
And our final letter in how to have a quickie with your spouse is encourage. Encourage one another. There is a difference between a compliment and encouragement. A compliment is to speak well of, while to encourage is to lift one another up. It's one thing to say, oh, you have a nice shirt on. Oh, girl, them some bad shoes. That's a compliment. Encouragement is, we not going to always be here, babe. We moving on up like George and Wheezy. Mm-hmm. Encouragement is to lift up, is to lift someone's spirit, to lift someone's heart, to lift someone's consciousness up out of where they are to someplace better. And so how to have a quickie with your spouse, just a quick recap. Q, ask questions. U, show and prove that you understand. I, be intentional and impeccable with your word. C, cherish and caress your spouse. And that caress thing needs to happen every day. Kiss, be kissable everywhere that you want to be kissed. We got a pastor, and immediately I just thought of him. I'm not going to say his name, but he loved that one, y'all. When we said be kissable anywhere you want to be, like I thought he was going to do a backflip in the church. But anyway, be kissable everywhere you want to be kissed, okay? I was investing in your marriage.
Okay.
Time, talent, and treasure.
Yes.
Put it all in so that you can have the type of relationship with your spouse that you want to have. And E is encourage. Don't just compliment one another. Flattery is nice, but lift each other up through a word of encouragement whenever you can. And so from us to you, that's how the Battles are recommending that you have a quickie with your spouse.
So y'all go have a quickie.
Go have a quickie. Go have a quickie. You can do it right now. Push pause. Push stop. Go have a quickie with your spouse. Go have a quickie with your spouse. Go do the 15-second rule. Go kiss your spouse. Go kiss your spouse for 15 seconds. If she's doing the dishes, she's in the kitchen, she's doing the dishes, or she's fussing at the kids, walk up to her, wrap your arms around her, and kiss her for 15 seconds. And you ain't necessarily got to count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Like, don't do that. But kiss her for 15 seconds.
And you can just hold her for 15 seconds.
And see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens.
Could change her whole mood, could change the tone of her voice. Hello.
Right.
Hello.
Now, after she say, what's wrong with you?
No, because we just told the ladies, don't say what's wrong with you. Say what happened. Are you okay? We learned that from trauma-informed care. You're not supposed to say, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to say, what happened to you? What's going on?
But try not to say, what's wrong with you? Just enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. Ladies, if your husband walks up to you and his caress is tender, just say thank you. Just say thank you, okay? Stop it.
Like Mr. Brown.
No,
not
like Mr. Brown. Please don't do nothing like Mr. Brown. But anyway, okay. So family, we want to encourage you and your spouse to have a quickie with each other. Okay?
So we thank you all again for listening.
Absolutely. We usually start from a place of gratitude, but on this one, we're going to end with a place from a place of gratitude. So thank you.
Thank you
For listening, sharing, and subscribing.
Right.
If you want to write a review, we love that too. We love your comments. And some of you who would rather send them privately to us, they can send them to
info@thebattlestation.org. That's info@thebattlestation.org. And you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram as well.
And you can go to our website. So we got a couple of websites. Let's tell them what those are real quick. So
we have thebattlestation.org
and SheilaBattle.com.
SheilaBattle.com.
So if you ever need to reach out to us, we want to be as accessible as possible. So you can reach out to us through the social media platform that you're listening to this podcast, or you can connect with us by email or check us out on our websites. Okay.
And so in closing, if you are, as we mentioned earlier, if you have a house of worship that you're connected to, hey, get with the marriage ministry.
Absolutely.
Check it out. Check it out. And then it will be a blessing to your marriage. And so find a couple that can mentor you, be there to talk to you, and all those things will be an asset to your marriage. So again, we thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. Be well, family.
Grace and peace to each and every one of you, and know that the battles love you.
Take care from the battle station.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.